On June 17, 2026, aerial footage shot above Giga-Texas North Campus revealed a steel skeleton rising so fast that engineers who track these projects for a living refuse to believe the timeline. What is being assembled on that ground is not another car plant. It is the first machine designed to build machines that think, and most of the world has no idea it is already happening. The number that breaks belief. Let us walk through it floor by floor. The facility climbing out of North Campus spreads across more than 5.2 million square meters. Tesla has committed somewhere between $5 and $10 billion to its construction, and the production target it has publicly stated is 27,000 humanoid robots per day by 2027. That works out to roughly 10 million robots a year. Before that figure can land with any weight, you need something to measure it against. Toyota's Georgetown plant in Kentucky, the single largest Toyota manufacturing site on Earth, runs at full tilt to ship around 550,000 vehicles annually. On a strong day, that line pushes out somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 cars. Tesla's robot factory in Texas is aiming for almost 14 times that daily volume. Not 14% higher, 14 times higher, out of a building that as of June 2026 is still an open steel frame standing in the Texas dirt. So here's the question every analyst in the field is muttering privately, but few will say into a microphone. Is that number real, or is it a headline-grade projection engineered to pull in capital and dominate the news cycle? Stay with this, because the honest answer is far stranger and far more important than a clean yes or no. The quiet classroom in California. To make sense of Texas, you first have to understand a move Tesla made in California that almost nobody covered at the scale it deserved. In early 2026, the company quietly stopped production of the Model S and the Model X. These were not throwaway cars. The Model S was the vehicle that proved an electric car could be gorgeous, brutally quick, and genuinely desirable. The car that put its founder on magazine covers around the world. Shutting that line down was not a routine operational shrug. Tesla gave up active, profitable revenue from a product line that had defined the entire company for more than a decade, and it did so for one reason alone: to clear floor space and learn how to manufacture something no one has ever mass-produced. The Optimus Gen 3 line at Fremont officially went live on January 21st, 2026, but Fremont was never meant to be a robot factory. Fremont is a classroom. Every time an arm fumbles apart, every time a joint comes up short on torque, every time a sensor flags a flaw, all of it gets logged. Not to repair that one robot, but to design the Texas line so it runs correctly from its very first hour. Tesla even has an internal shorthand for the strategy: validate at Fremont, replicate at giga-texas. And the cost buried inside that choice is enormous. Walking away from Model S and Model X margins meant surrendering hundreds of millions in annual contribution margin to fund a lesson no textbook could ever teach. That is what a company looks like when it truly believes it is building the most important factory in human history. And what rolls off the Texas line won't even be the same machine. The Optimus 5.4 is a full generational redesign, every joint and sensor cluster re-engineered around a single question: can this be built at industrial scale? Fremont builds V3 to learn. Texas builds V4 to sell. A foundation engineers couldn't ignore. Construction at North Campus kicked off in November 2025 with grading and clearing, work mundane enough to draw almost no eyes. But by April 2026, equipment from a firm called Geopier showed up on site, and that is the moment construction watchers realized Tesla was doing something unusual right from the ground up. Geopier's rammed aggregate pier method doesn't hammer conventional concrete piles straight into the earth. Instead, it builds a grid of compressed aggregate columns that squeeze and compact the soil in place, lifting the ground's load-bearing capacity by 3 to 5 times before concrete ever touches the primary load points. Data from the company indicates the technique trims foundation construction time by 20 to 40% against traditional pile driving. Why does any of that matter for a robot plant? Because the ground beneath the Austin region is riddled with expansive clay, soil that swells and shrinks as it takes on and releases moisture. A footprint spanning more than 5 million square meters demands perfectly even load distribution across the whole thing. If that foundation settles unevenly over years of non-stop production, the micrometer level alignment a robotic assembly line depends on simply cannot hold. Tesla didn't cut a corner at the foundation. It picked the fastest method that still guarantees decades of structural stability. Then came May 27th, 2026 when the first steel column went up, and the speed that followed was genuinely hard to believe. Every structural member had been prefabricated off-site to exact dimensions and trucked in for assembly, executed by the same crew that built the original giga-texas. 4 full stories of framing finished in under 3 weeks. By the end of 2026, the project is projected to move into enclosure, roofing, and industrial electrical systems rated for up to 500 megawatts, enough electricity to power roughly 400,000 American homes. Here used to run both the robot line and the AI computing cluster sharing the same roof. The 3 choke points. Here's the part every breathless 27,000 a day headline conveniently skips. Between the steel rising in Texas and that production target sits a cluster of technical problems with no solved precedent anywhere in manufacturing history. The first is quality inspection. When Toyota ships 2,000 Camrys a day from Georgetown, end-of-line inspection runs about 4 to 6 minutes per vehicle. A defined set of safety checks running in parallel across stations, fully automatable and well understood. An Optimus V4 is not a Camry. Each unit needs hardware verification across more than 40 independent joints, force sensors, and actuator torque. But it also needs AI verification. Does it read verbal commands correctly? Does it respond safely to situations it was never trained on? Is it safe around people with no supervisor watching? Run conservative math. If inspecting one AI integrated robot takes 2 hours, then 27,000 units a day demands 54,000 inspection hours every single day. That number collapses under its own weight. Tesla has to invent an entirely new paradigm where AI tests AI in real time on a line that never stops. The second choke point is the supply chain. A single V4 needs between 30 and 40 strain wave gear assemblies, the specialized actuators that give robotic joints their precision. 10 million robots a year means 300 to 400 million of those assemblies, and the world's leading harmonic drive makers in Japan and China have combined output that doesn't reach even 1% of that. The supply chain for this simply does not exist yet, which is why a large slice of Tesla's roughly $20 billion in 2026 capital spending is aimed at building component capacity from scratch. The third choke point is the one nobody discusses, and it is the hardest. Every V4 leaving the line must receive the latest AI build, be calibrated to its own unique hardware quirks, and be validated for software-hardware sync before it clears the door, all embedded inside a continuous flow at 27,000 units a day without ever stalling the line. That problem has no precedent, and Tesla has to crack it before the summer of 2027. The Holy Triangle of North Campus. This is where the strategy behind the whole project turns into something genuinely unlike anything built before, and where the location decision that so many writers waved off as a logistics call reveals itself as the most important design choice in the entire plan. Right beside the Optimus factory on the same North Campus, Tesla is co-locating 2 more facilities. The first is Terafab, a joint venture tying together Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI, which will produce the AI-5 chip, the processor built specifically to run Optimus units in the field. The second is Cortex 2.0, a computing cluster with processing muscle equivalent to more than 230,000 H100 class GPUs, scaling toward a full 500 megawatt capacity. 3 distinct capabilities sharing one operational campus: the factory making robot bodies, the factory making robot brains, and the AI infrastructure computing what those robots should do next. This wasn't done to shave shipping costs. It was done to compress the improvement cycle of each robot generation from weeks down to hours. When the chip fab sits in another state or another country, every cycle of folding a new AI build into updated hardware drags through an entire logistics and validation chain that eats weeks. When all 3 functions share a fence line, a robot finished on the Texas floor doesn't wait for chips to arrive. The chip is fabricated next door, installed on site, already carrying a model trained on real-world data streamed in from thousands of V3 units running at Fremont. The whole loop closes in hours. A century ago, Henry Ford built the River Rouge complex, producing its own steel, glass, and rubber on one site to kill outside dependence and compress the production cycle. That was the pinnacle of vertical integration in its time. What Tesla is assembling at North Campus is that same philosophy reborn for a new century, except the integrated inputs aren't steel and rubber. They are hardware, software, and artificial intelligence cycling inside one unbroken loop. The output isn't a vehicle. It is a form of mechanical intelligence that compounds week over week, because every lesson learned in the field flows back into Cortex 2.0 and ships out again on the next batch of chips fabricated next door. The honest roadmap. Let's be straight about the numbers instead of rounding them up to look more impressive. The figure of 27,000 robots a day is the maximum rated capacity at full output, and maximum rated capacity sits a long way from first day production. Toyota's Georgetown plant, one of the most efficient ever built, needed nearly 3 years from physical completion to hit its designed throughput, and Toyota had decades of experience behind it. Tesla is building a humanoid robot factory for the first time in history, with no established precedent, no body of practice to lean on, and 3 unsolved problems standing in the way of scale. Musk himself has framed it bluntly: designing the robot is hard, but building the factory that makes it at scale is 10 to 100 times harder. Most coverage fixates on the steel frame and the headline number while skipping the S-curve entirely, and that omission is exactly where investors, workers, and policymakers make their costliest mistakes. The realistic trajectory looks like this. By the summer of 2027, the first line reaches operational status, with early output ranging from several hundred to a few thousand units a day, going to enterprise partners who keep feeding real-world data back into the system. Through late 2027 and into 2028, the process gets optimized, output climbs the S-curve, and robots start reaching commercial buyers at an estimated $20,000 to $30,000 each. From 2029 onward, if quality inspection, supply chain, and AI synchronization have all been solved, the line finally approaches its rated capacity, and 27,000 a day shifts from target to fact. Remember the track record. Giga-Texas went from cleared ground to shipping its first Model Y in 18 months, in the middle of a pandemic and a global supply crisis. Giga Berlin took about 24 months. The Optimus North Campus build is currently pacing alongside Giga-Texas, with no pandemic slowing it down. The 4 stories of steel filmed on June 17th aren't a slide in a pitch deck. They are poured concrete and fabricated steel, a $10 billion physical bet on something most of the planet still files under science fiction. The largest robot factory in the history of the industry is under construction right now, and we've just walked through every technical, logistical, and strategic layer of what it is and why it matters. But the question it leaves you with isn't a technical one, it's a human one. When Optimus VP4 units start shipping at around $20,000, the price of an entry-level car, what happens to aging economies in Japan, South Korea, and across Europe, where the workforce is shrinking and elder care is becoming impossible to fund? A robot that can help in homes and clinics might be the difference between a functioning society and collapse. That's one scenario. Here's the other. For hundreds of millions of workers in logistics, light manufacturing, and services, people in their 40s and 50s who built their lives around tasks a $20,000 machine can now replicate, that robot isn't a solution. It's the end of an era they never saw coming. So which is it? A lifeline for aging societies, or the opening move of the largest involuntary workforce shift in modern history? That's not a rhetorical question. Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. If this analysis gave you something the headlines didn't, subscribe, because the next video goes inside the Terafab chip facility and the AI-5 architecture that decides how smart these robots really are when they leave Texas. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't miss it.